So I'm here with CDR team, Yamaha team principal Craig Dack, and Dack, 20 years in the game, and you've been a pioneer in the race teams, and a lot of people sort of, I think, talk about you and your team as a benchmark. But 36 championships, you've got to be pretty proud about today.
Yeah, mate. It's just one of those things. You don't, it's like in my racing career. I never went out to think I was going to make the top of the game, but all of a sudden you end up there and winning races, and then it's been the same feeling with running this race team. It was just running the race team was just a natural progression of my racing career, and and to be this successful in 20 years and having 36 championships and won this particular championship 5 years in a row now, and 6 in total in the recent time, the modern era. It's just something I would never have thought of, and you got to you hear all these cliches all the time. I'm only as good as the people around me, and your riders and all that, but it's still so true. I just feel like one very small cog in the wheel, and from all the people at Yamaha through people like Monza and Dunlop and Yamalube and all those associates that I've had through my racing career that are still there now, they're all part of this whole thing. And I think that's the uniqueness of CDR, is that we're an established team, and a lot of these young, fantastic, vibrant teams are coming through. So they've kept us young, to keep fighting and keep striving. But I think one of the assets, or the biggest asset that we've been able to retain all the same people for a good 20 or 30 years, which makes it a lot better.
And today, I suppose, in the context of last year when, Josh had such terrible luck and taken down and, not of his own doing, and dislocated his shoulder and lost the championship when he came in, I think, with 18 points last year, or 14, something like very similar sort of numbers. But that was obviously in the back of your mind today a little bit.
Look, Josh has had those bad lucks. Josh stays at my place a lot, and we hang out and we talk a lot. And he's, because he's one of the oldest riders I've had, and such an experienced guy, we have some very mature, good conversations. And he said, a lot of people come up to me, and this is Josh just being the ultimate optimist. He said, a lot of people always say it's bad luck that he had not winning last year. It's bad luck when he didn't win that World Championship round. He said, but his career was in the good times when, the times were big and money was there, and, he's had a lot of success in his career. But somehow we're all focusing on those few bad ones. So in all that time, there's only been a few bad ones. But 2 times runner-up in the World Championship, 2 times third, umpteen New Zealand championships, now a National Australian Championship, he Spanish Championship, Italian Championship, English Championship. Pretty illustrious career.
Yeah, no, he's an amazing guy and humble at that. But I want to call you up on a really interesting comment that you made a little bit earlier. It was a sentimental thing today, but we had a chat earlier, and you said, as much as we sort of say we do it for the riders' age, which is a bit selfish, we do it as a team manager. You'll love taking the wins in the bag, but you said this one in particular was today was all about Josh.
All the wins that you have all have those special moments. We get whether it's the privilege or the emotion, I guess, of every championship series you go through. Every particular championship has that moment where, when you win it, that rider gives you something that you go, oh man, you gave me something special for that championship. They all have those special moments. But this one was different than the rest. This is a guy that has had such a great career, and I have so much respect and admiration for the guy. And just to be in that privileged and lucky position to end your career as a professional athlete and end it on top. This is more personal, this one, for him, not for us.
Yeah. I've heard some interesting comments. You guys have said that, Josh, by far and away, in terms of bike development, like he's head and shoulders above the next best guy. It's probably fair to say that YZF, that 450, at an elite level, has probably got a reputation, I guess, in the last couple of years as being a tough bike to set up.
Yep.
Does it make it even better for you to be able to, get past that, set it up and win a title where around the world the Yami's not necessarily on top of the box?
Yeah, well, that's right. Well, Rinaldi team in Europe, they've had a lot of injuries, so they weren't able to. They haven't had a fair run, because of their injuries. But we, in the first 6 months of having this model 3 years ago, we were a bit confused on what direction to take. But once we got our head around it, it's been a great bike. We've won. This is the fifth. We've won 3 motocross championships, and this now 4. Or 2, and this one 3, and then a Supercross championship. So it's a great bike. But Josh, certainly his experience and his intellect has certainly helped not only with the bike but in tyre testing and all sorts of different testing. So we hope to actually keep him on in some way, in that way, with CDR.
Well, it was interesting. It was a funny moment there before when he said, "Go and pack up your locker, will you, mate?" And
Clean out your locker, your service is no longer required.
That's right. But he is. You alluded when a couple of weeks ago it happened when he announced his retirement that he will be involved with the team. Can you give us much insight into?
No, I can't because I'm not hiding anything. We've just been so focused on winning this thing, we haven't got to it yet. And we've got such a busy period coming into Supercross with Motocross Donations by Lawson and Josh coming up. Josh trying to get back to New Zealand and get back to England to see his family again. It's been so much going on, but it's our intent to do that. We want to marry both these teams in New Zealand and Australia together more, and because I think Josh and I can work good together. That's given me the confidence to want to do that. And I'd certainly, from a personal point of view, I'd like to have some involvement with Josh here with CDR for at least the next couple of years anyway. Just with the testing program and some other areas, I think he'd be very beneficial to not only the team but for the riders.
It's going to be an interesting year next year. I know I won't put you on the spot to talk about your riders again next year. I've already tried that today, but I think you did allude to it maybe being a development year with some younger riders. But mate, all the best. Well done today, Craig, and all the best for next season, or the Supercross, and then next season.
Thanks, Andy. Good on you.